Hi, I'm Ten Robinson, Marketing Executive at Posturite. Welcome to another WorkRite webinar in which we'll be covering our new reporting suite. We recognised a few months ago that despite having a very comprehensive set of reports, we had too many serving similar purposes, which can be confusing for both new and existing customers. We've drastically reduced the number of reports focusing on the thing you are reporting on. For example, if you want to report on things related to training, we can go to the training report. My colleague Ryan Church is going to run us through our new reports, showing you what you can now achieve and how easy it is to find and interrogate the data. These courses will evolve based on customer feedback, so if you have any particular questions that aren't covered today, please either leave a question in the bottom right of your screen or get in touch with Ryan after the webinar has ended. For any questions that you ask, we will do our best to get through as many as possible towards the end of the webinar. Over to you, Ryan.
That's great, Ted. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us for the second of the reporting updates, if you like. We are running this quite a sort of general understanding of the power of the reporting suite, rather than actually talking customers through their individual needs. What we are also doing, though, is getting in touch with all of our customers over the sort of the coming weeks and months, just to make sure that you're getting the best out of the system. So if you've got specific questions about your particular reports, please do still ask them, but what we will look to do is probably get back to you after the webinar to answer your specific questions on your specific individual needs. But if you've got sort of general questions, can it do this, can it do that, how do I do this particular element that I used to do in the old reports, please ask those questions whilst we're going through, and Ten will collate those. And we'll look to answer those, like we say, towards the end of the presentation. There are a few people on this call that are new to WorkRite completely, so I'll just give you sort of a quick understanding of how we get to, or why we would need the reports. WorkRite, which you can see in front of you, this is the learning management system. We've got on the page a long list of the courses that I personally, as the administrator, still need to complete. We've got courses that have assessments, such as our DSE training course, which we all know and love as AssessRite. The end user will go through training elements, so modules 1 to 5 is training, module 6 is a test, module 7 is the self-assessment. But some of our courses only have a test element. So if we were to look at our FireRite course, which is our fire awareness course, we've got 8 modules of training here, and then just a test with no need for a self-assessment. So there's a combination of the two, and I think it's important just to point out right from the start that when we're looking at the reporting information, it is understanding what we're trying to achieve by running each of the reports. For those of you that use the system for quite a while, you'll be used to seeing your administration features down the left-hand side, and this section here, the reporting section, was beginning to become quite long, and as Ten has already mentioned, a lot of the reports were actually collating and filtering a lot of the similar information. So we had 3 or 4 different reports on training information, a number of reports on trend analysis and assessment reporting. But like Tim was saying, we're looking to basically give you a more intuitive but much more powerful tool with what we've done here. So on the left-hand side, I've got 6 options. I've got my save reports, which I will come to towards the end. I've got an assessment report, an audit report, an email report, training, and a user report. Now, it's worth saying right from the start that on the right-hand side here, we've still got these quick links, and we do still have access to all of the old reports for the next 6 months. So don't worry about the old ones being switched off if you have one particular one that or a couple of particular ones that you're used to using. You do still have access to those via a link that I'm about to show you. But on the right-hand side of your home page, these quick links and quick reports here are still completely active. So if I just quickly run the assessment analyzer, I've still got the information on that particular page there, which again I'll come on to in more detail. I know that's a very popular report, the query analyzer. Sorry, the assessment analyzer. So from the start, I'm going to go into user reports. Now, you'll notice straight away that the visual delivery of the way the reporting suites work is hopefully, you'll agree, far more impressive. We've looked to sort of give you headline figures in a dashboard type delivery from the very off. What this particular report here has is similar to all of them in the sense it has primary filters and secondary filters. The secondary filters go into as many different groups as you have within your system, so I can actually apply any number of combinations of those particular secondary filters. But with the primary filters, these affect the way the whole of this particular report runs. So you'll see here it's defaulted to all roles, all students, all client managers, and all client administrators. It's also defaulted to everybody on the system that is active. So I know from the off, I've clicked, all I've done so far is clicked on the user report. I know of all of my users that are active, there are 161 users. The users by role, I have my pie chart here just to give a quick sort of headline figure of the percentage breakdown of students against client managers against client administrators, should you need that information. I've also got my users assigned by course, because there are some courses on this particular demo system here that not everybody is attributed to. You can see the top figures here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 courses. They are site-wide. We can tell that because there's 161 people in each of those courses. But the courses such as the Office Health and Safety Awareness for Line Managers, Assess Rights, Home Workers, New and Expectant Mothers, each of these lower stems here, they are course groups, so they're not allocated to everybody. It depends on your role whether you see those. I think it's quite useful to see that just as a headline for your very first page. And you'll notice as we apply these filters, each of these sort of pie charts, each of the, obviously the data further down the page here, it all relates to exactly how I've applied my filters. So I've decided I want to see all of the students in this particular report. I can apply that filter. I now know there's 138 active students on the system. If I wanted to see all of the inactive or anybody that's been on the system, I can apply the any, and I can see that there's been 399 users ever on this particular setup system. But I'm going to stay with the active ones for the purpose of this demo. I then want to find out, let's add a secondary filter. Let's pick by location. And as I say, these fields will relate obviously specifically to your own systems, but here we've got 3 locations: field, office, and warehouse. I'm going to pick the office. I'm going to apply the filter. So I know that within the office there are 62 users. We know we're only looking at the students within the system, so obviously that's only going to show me my students. If I wanted to go back and find out my client managers and client administrators, I can do, but that's not what I'm looking to do here. And what I can also see further down the page is the list of people that I'm actually running that report for. So I can see there's 62 entries. That relates to the number on the top left here, but I can also, from this particular page, export everything to Excel, which you will be used to being able to use. But I can also now, with the new features, export to CSV or to PDF. Now, PDF sometimes is a great way of, if you've got a quarterly report, just to run the data rather than having to run the filters and then produce your own pie charts. This effectively is going to do that workload for you. So I've just given you the headline. That's specifically the figures that I've just run in that previous filter. Okay, what I can do also on this particular page is I can save this report. I'm going to come on to that feature later because it's something I want to show in a bit more detail with a set of criteria that is got a date range against it. I'm not going to put a date range against this particular filter because I'm just looking to understand on this particular set of filters how many people in a particular location. So if I wanted to apply a second filter, maybe somebody that has got a job role, maybe they're a first aider as well, I can apply that filter and a number of people in the system. There are 4 people in this particular location that are first aiders. Quite useful information, I hope you'd agree. And you can, like I say, still export that data should you need to. Top right hand corner of this screen and of all of the new reporting screens is the legacy reports. I mentioned just now that you can still get access to all of the old reports. It's this button here that takes you back to them. So whilst the visual delivery of the way we've listed these has changed, you'll notice the titles that you may be used to running. So an all training report takes you back to the same set of filters that you may well be used to using. Okay, I won't run those reports. Those of you that have experience with the system will know how they all run. So after a user report, it's potentially most pertinent to find out who's done what training and who's received notifications to do training. So the training report, the second of the 5, defaults straight away to the first course on the list. Now, if you've got one course, then this particular filter is always going to be the one course that you have. But a number of customers, for a number of years, actually, sorry, at least a year or two, have been asking for a report to be able to pick and choose a combination of various different reports. And once we could find the data with the old set of tools, it's much easier to do so here. So I've decided I want to pick all of the courses on this particular system. So I apply that filter. You'll notice again the dashboard is automatically changing. I then want to, on this particular setup, I want to find out everybody again. I'm going to go by location. It tends to be a sort of consistent sort of theme on most people's systems. I'll pick everybody in the office. I've got one open issue in this particular office. I can see the completion stats, 54% complete, 46 incomplete. I've also got here the total number of incomplete assessments in this location. But what I want to find out is the number of people that have got open issues with their assessments. So if I say yes, I've got one open issue and no incomplete assessments. I think that's quite important to find out. And I can see there that particular person is Mr. Adam Holter on this particular report. You'll notice here the course name is running the report for all of the courses. So I can see here all of the courses, but it's just that one assessment issue, sorry, assessment issue that is open. So if I come back, that's the training report. Again, a number of filters you can apply, 2, 3, 4 secondary filters. But the best thing to do really is to understand with your particular setup how the course groups and the group types fit with your data. So, third of the 5 reports is the email reports. What I'm looking to understand here is what emails people have received, and is there any progress since the previous email. So you'll notice these headings, they're standard within the WorkRite system. So your company page, if I just come back from the original home page, so my content option here, this is where all my email headings are. So asbestos awareness first reminder email, all of those emails listed there, they are carried across to the headings here. So I've got my actionable issues, issues overdue, miscellaneous. I want to find everybody that has received a training notification. I want to find out people that have been sent the training notification in the last, let's say, 6 months. I then want to find out, again, you've got options. I can find out the ones that are overdue. I've only got the one course that's got an overdue schedule in there, so I'm not going to run that for now. But what I will do is I'll break the information down by, let's pick, again, location. Let's say it's a consistent theme, I appreciate, but you can see how the filters apply. So I'm finding everybody that's received the training notification for that particular training notification for that location. 149 emails sent over the last 6-month period, which we put in there. I've then got emails sent by type. We know that we've chosen the type already, which is the training notification email. But equally, I've got the logged in since the last email and unemailed active users. That's an important number to try and keep to 0. If that number was anything other than 0, there are people within your system that have not been notified to do their training. It's quite, when you're managing it closely, that's a nice number to see, is a 0. No one that doesn't know what they need to do. I'm going to show you the saved filter on this particular system here, on this particular report here, sorry. Because I picked the last 6 months. Now I want to find out, in 6 months' time, if I call it email sent, test report. And the reason I'm saving this report here is because I want to be able to quickly run these filters, whatever those filters are, in 6 months' time or in any period of time to find out for the previous 6 months. So I know there's 149 emails sent in the last 6 months because of the filters I've put in here. I've got no unemailed active users. I've got everybody run by location here, which is the office location. What I'm now going to see by going back to my saved reports, I'm now going to see the emails report new, and I'll just put this one in there. Emails report new is a test report, and what I can do is I can schedule how often I receive that report. Okay, so I may be weekly is probably a little bit keen, monthly, annually, or I can have a custom period of time. Some people will need this information quarterly, so if I put in, let's say, every 90 days, as I'm the person that saved that particular report, that saved that particular schedule, those filters I just ran for the email report will be sent to me automatically every 90 days. Sorry. So if I wanted to delete that, quite easily I can delete that, but it does ask me if I want to beforehand. Now that feature is available with all the reports, but I just showed you that one because the date range was important. So we know our users, we know the training they've done, we've then got the assessment report as well. Emails have been sent as well, and the fourth or the fifth of the five is the assessment report. So pick an assessment. Some of you will just have the one assessment, which will likely be assessed right. Some of you are only using driver assessment, driver awareness. A few of you just using home workers, but if you've got multiples, you can see you can pick as many as you need to. It will default to assess right because that is our primary course. As about 65–70% of our users have access to assess right. So I'll apply that filter. These numbers won't change because that's what's been defaulted. But I'm then going to, I want to find out all the information regarding assessments or regarding issues. So I'm going to just say with the assessment for now. Okay, and then again, secondary filters, long list of options. I want to go by completion date this time. So if I pick a completion date, again, if I go the last, let's go the last 3 months this time. Apply the filter. I can see the number of assessments to be completed in the last 3 months, 265 entries. Okay. I can see here, top right, the biggest trend. In fact, actually, let me come back and clear all of these filters because what it defaulted to on the very first page is something I went to right at the beginning, which is this information here. This is now showing me the assessment analyzer information. So on the home page, if I come back to, let me just skim down this for a bit. If I take you back to the home page and run the query analyzer, sorry, the assessment analyzer, that information there is the same as the default setting for the assessment report. So you get the understanding of we're trying to minimize the number of reports to find the information that's required. So if I scroll down the page and find something that's important, so your chair, is the floor beneath your chair carpeted or is it a hard surface? Carpeted, 373 people, hard surface, 44. I can then click on each of those numbers and it will show me that list of people for that particular answer. Those using the assessment analyzer before will understand how that works. But what I'm going to do, what I can see here, top right, this is the biggest trend. So I haven't got to run any filters to understand that. My dashboard automatically tells me the biggest trend across my organization. If I then apply, let's pick the field. Let's actually not pick the field because I'm looking at assess right. It's going to be office-based assessment. How intensive do you use your keyboard and screen? Medium. Okay, it's not a major issue, but that is the biggest trend, the most answered question across the whole of the assessment. And again, I can export to Excel, I can run CSVs, and I can run PDFs. Secondary filters, again, is an option. If I pick, again, the overdue, bad example. If I pick by job role, again, first aiders, I can apply that filter as well. Again, legacy report still showing top right, but I'm going to go back to the home page and take you to the fifth of the 5 reports, and that is the audit report. Have any of you ever had a particular person, generally client managers, who you ask, have you done this, have you done that, or even users, have you done this, have you done that, and you're told, I did complete the training, I've done the whole thing, you go back and you can see the reports. But more importantly, did you receive emails to be told what to do? This report here is going to answer all of those questions. So I want to find out, I'm going to pick on a particular person. So I want to find out from a chap called Chris Jones, who Regular followers of this webinar will know Chris's voice. If I apply that filter, I'm going to pick the last, let's pick 6 months again. I want to find out Chris's activity on the system over the last 6 months. Now, I can see Chris has 60 entries. That's basically 68 actions that Chris has had on this system here. I can see here that he's run an audit report, he's run an assessment report, he's run user details basic, he's run all those information, and I can see that. And if I wanted to pick what he's done with a particular person, so maybe followed up on a particular person's issues, you pick Chris is the actioned by, and in this example here, Paul is the actioned on. So I can see this is all of the activity that Chris has had with this particular user over the course of the last 6 months. And again, I can save that filter if I wanted to and put that in my save reports, but it's just to find out exactly what's happened by using various options. Okay, so here we've got all of my action targets, so I want to find out all the reports that this particular person's carried out. Okay, there are all the reports, so we're down to 43 entries over the last 6 months. Again, exportable, Excel, CSV, or PDF, and if I needed to, I can save the report again as well. Hopefully that's sort of given a good sort of standard overview of the 5 different types of reports. Like I say, there's going to be a lot of specific questions about your personal data, the way your fields are grouped, your group types, your locations, your client managers. That's what we need to speak to you individually about. When I say individually, I mean client by client. So please do ask those types of questions. Ten, I don't know if you've had any questions coming in whilst I've been talking, but if you have, now's the time to let me know what they are.
Hi Ryan, thanks for that. We had a couple actually. The first of which, how long will the old reports be available for?
Okay, we launched the new reports on the 6th of July, and we had a strategy meeting to say, well, we need to make both sets of reports available for a fair period of time, and we decided the 31st of December this year would be a reasonable time frame. However, we will be keeping record of how many people are using the legacy reports over the course of well, definitely the next 6 months, and if people are still using them, getting close to that deadline, we will extend it, and we will make a priority for speaking to customers that are still looking to use or still using the legacy reports rather than the new suite. So 31st of December, but that is up for review depending on usage. Hope that answers your question.
Fantastic. And the second is, do saved reports update the time span?
Yes, they do. Now, if I could give you run a quick example. Okay, email sent reports. If I was to pick a date range, so let's say I picked April the 1st to today, and I was to save that report, it would always save this report for that date range. However, if I wanted to save the report for the last whatever period of time, let's say 1 year, that is then going to, when my save reports will run that report for the last year. So I run it today, it runs for the last 12 months. If I run it in 6 months' time, it runs for the 12 months prior to that 6 months, the last 6 months, and the next 6 months. So I think the answer is yes and no. So picking a date range there is specific. Picking the previous period of time, days, months, or years, then that will update when the report is sent. So it's all live information.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Ryan. Obviously, with the amount we had to get through, we couldn't go into too much detail with the questions. So if anyone would like to follow up and focus on anything in particular in a bit more detail, please just let us know and we'll make sure that Ryan can give you a call. That just leaves me to ask when our next webinar will be, Ryan.
Okay, we had one last week, one this week. We're going to give it a week and a half now until the next one. The content of the webinar is going to be dictated by the questions that we receive sort of now and in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be at 12:30 on Monday the 3rd of August. So we're back to a 12:30 slot rather than the 2 o'clock slot we've gone for today. But yeah, Monday the 3rd at 12:30. Again, the content will be similar to today, but expanded on slightly with some specific questions. questions. So hopefully that answers your question again.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ryan. I believe that's everything for now. So thank you to those of you who attended. And any further questions we can publish following the webinar.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.